draft. This was a draft class that really didn't go how a lot of mock drafts, a lot of people expected for the Chicago Bears. With Tyler Warren to start off, him being on the board still, and the Bears took Loveland. I mean, I'm not mad at the pick. Apparently, a lot of teams were trying to trade up to get Loveland, but I still like the direction we went. Ben Johnson specifically is picking guys for his offense and to fulfill what he wants to do, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to trust those guys. I'm going to trust Ben Johnson. I'm going to trust Ryan Poles, and it seems like more than any time before in the Ryan Poles tenure, the head coach has more of a say. Some of the other coaches on the staff have say too with some of the selections that have, happened. This offense got two dynamic playmakers, two huge weapons for Caleb Williams. They bolstered that. And the Bears defensively got a fast linebacker, got a very unique athlete at defensive back, and you got a D tackle that could play defensive end and defensive tackle. He's played 5 different positions on the defensive line in 200 snaps. Great positional flexibility with that. So really like what the Bears did with this draft. Right now I'm going to break down pick by pick. To start with the Loveland trade, he's 3 months into his 6-month recovery with his shoulder injury, but this is a fantastic player. Huge upside with him. 21 years old, 6'6". 250 pounds, ran a 4.54 40-yard dash, so he has that speed to his game more than Tyler Warren, and he also is a better route runner, has more upside as a blocker too. He can get in line and block in space, block on the line, so he has a lot of great tools that I like within his game. And the biggest comparisons for him were Sam Laporta. His traits, all that stuff correlates to Sam Laporta, and that's why Ben Johnson took him over Tyler Warren. Great route runner, great separator. He's just a big wideout at the tight end position, so you could do some really creative things with him. You could line him up in the slot, you could line him up outside, you could line him up as your third receiver in positions. He could be that wide guy for you, and him and Cole Kmet I think are gonna work well off each other. Tyler Warren and Cole Kmet were a little more similar. Loveland is more of that finesse guy to Cole Kmet's bruising ability, and that guy that's going to break tackles, a guy that's going to catch a ball, go straight up the field, pick up a first down, good catching ability. Loveland has all that within his game too. Yak guy, he could run away from defenders. He's a matchup nightmare. He has a good catch radius. He could push the ball downfield, so Ben Johnson last season, he ran 12 personnel more than anybody. He scored more touchdowns in 12 personnel than anybody. So this season, I expect a lot of 12 personnel from the Chicago Bears, and I'm excited for it. High character guy too. He could have been a team captain, but he was a junior, unfortunately. So this is a guy that I trust a lot. First 3 years at Michigan, 117 receptions, 1,400 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns. He has more upside as a prospect than Tyler Warren, like I said. Let's get into the next prospect. This one was more of the surprise than anything. Luther Burden slide into pick 39. Best player available, best player on the board. He had first round talent. Second best receiver in this draft class. People had him as over the Ohio State receiver, and he's a phenomenal playmaker. He's going to create explosive plays, and that's something that Ben Johnson's talked about in his press conference. He's just going to catch the ball and just go with it. Make people miss, force missed tackles. They're saying Deebo Samuel mixed with St. Brown, which I like that a lot. Deebo Samuel, we know what type of playmaker he is. You can give him carries. You can, hand him the ball off. You can give him screens. And one thing Ben Johnson does is he creates easy yards for his receivers. St. Brown has put up a bunch of yards in Detroit, and Luther Burden, expect him to have a big rookie season because he's going to get those screens. And he's already going to make people miss. He's already going to make plays anytime he gets a ball in his hands, creative with the ball in his hands. Comparisons to DJ Moore as well. So another DJ Moore, I'm here for it. You could have DJ Moore and Rome on the outside and him in the slot in 11 personnel. This Bears offense could get really crazy, and this is an underrated receiver. This season it was a down year. His quarterback, his offense, it was terrible. But the year before, his sophomore year, 1,200 yards, 83 catches, 8 touchdowns, 14.4 yards per reception. He forced a missed tackle on 49% of his receptions. That is insane. Insanity. He's a man beater. And in 2024, he had 9 carries for 115 yards and a couple touchdowns. So he is the type of playmaker. You just got to get the ball in his hands at any way possible. And I think the Bears will do that. I think Ben Johnson will do that creatively. So I'm excited about Luther Burden in this offense. This is probably the best selection for the Chicago Bears, especially where he fell and where they got him. Bears for their second round pick, they took Ozzie Trapillo. This is a tackle from Boston College that is a pro-ready tackle. As analysts have said about him, he's more suited as a right tackle. It's interesting to see what the Bears do with that. Do they switch over Darnell Wright to left tackle? They really like Darnell Wright as a tackle. They think he has ability to play left tackle and right tackle. And I think as a blindside guy, he'd probably be a great left tackle. There's concerns with switching things around, making people switch positions, but I think if anybody could do it, Darnell Wright could. And Ozzie, if he could be a phenomenal right tackle in the league, I'm okay with that. 6'8", big size, big body, has length, he has a size. In 710 pass block snaps, he only allowed 2 sacks, 26 pressures, and that's a 3.7 pressure rate allowed. 5 penalties in 3 seasons, 36 starts at left and right tackle. More of a technician guy, solid technique. He's going to beat, defenders with his, technique. 8.89 RAS score. At first, I didn't love the pick. At first, I was like, we should have took a running back. We should have took, one of the top running backs that were available, because running backs were dropping like flies in the second round as soon as it started. So I thought we should have went that route, but, tackle definitely was an area of need for the Chicago Bears. You need more competition in that room. Kyron, Braxton Jones, questions about him being healthy for camp. So we need another body to add to that group. And I think this athletic freak Ozzie will bring that. 76.7 overall PFF grade, 80.5 pass block grade, and 69.9 run block grade. So he's a better pass protector than he is a run blocker, but just some things with, refining things in his game. Ozzie could be a really good tackle for us moving forward, and maybe Kyron's the swing tackle. Shamar Turner was the next second round selection for the Chicago Bears, and this is a guy that's, drawing comparisons to Grady Jarrett, somebody he watched a lot of film on. It's great that he did that, because that's the great mentor for him, a guy that he's going to learn a lot from, a guy that has positional flexibility. He played 5 different positions on the defensive line, nose tackle, both D tackle positions, and both defensive end positions this last season. Leader of the D-line, great against the run, has pass rush ability too. 2 sacks and 6 TFLs in 2024, but he played with a stress fracture all season, thugged it out, showed toughness with that. In 2023, 6 sacks as a defensive tackle, 36 tackles, 6 TFLs, 21 pressures. His comp is Matabuke from the Baltimore Ravens, and that guy's phenomenal. That guy's a tone setter. That guy's physical. He has tenacity. That's what we hope Shamar Turner can be. And if he is, this draft looks so much better. Luther Burden, Loveland, we love those picks. But one of these guys, if they could show flashes and be a dominant player, I really like this draft a lot. He should be fully ready to go by camp, and by rookie mini camp, he said he could potentially be available as well. High motor, plays with aggression, can be a huge disruptor on the defensive line. So he could be a player that dominates early and fast. Physical defensive lineman, and it looks like Zach Pickens is going to be on the outside. This is a move that I think Zach Pickens might get cut. Ruben Hippolyte, that might have been a reach, but this is a speedy linebacker. He has fantastic athletic traits. They say he has like a jetpack in his back as he's running, making plays, can run sideline to sideline, run downhill and make tackles. So really like that with him. You replace Jack Sanborn with a guy like this with this kind of traits, gives you more athleticism on the field. Jack Sanborn is more of that, tough-nosed linebacker, not the fastest guy in the world, but he's going to make a boatload of tackles. He's going to fly to the ball as fast as he can. He was predicted to be, a UDF guy, but that's why I say it's a reach, because this is maybe a guy we could have got as a UDF. Probably used his pick towards something else, like a running back at that time. But strong, athletic as fuck. 4.42 in the 40-yard dash. Played a lot of football in the Big Ten. Field Yates and the people on the draft show covering the draft, they, were glazing him. So hopefully this is a good pick. Hopefully this turns out well for the Bears, and it isn't just this is one of those picks that looks like a reach in the beginning, but then it turns out to be great. At the very least, he's going to dominate on special teams, hopefully. Was a 4-year starter at the Big Ten, so who knows? This could turn out to be a good pick. Zay Frazier, corner from UTSA. This is a guy, Al Harris was texting Ryan Post. This is a guy that we could potentially get. I really would like him. And, the traits are there. 6'3", just under 200 pounds, I believe. 4.3 speed. RAS score is fantastic. Had an impressive season last year, 6 interceptions. He's getting compared to Tariq Woolen, corner from the Seahawks. I really like that comp. Hopefully he can live up to that. But he's somebody that's just a ball hawk corner. He's always finding ways to make plays. He's always finding ways to get turnovers. And Al Harris, he specialized with that in Dallas with Diggs and Deron Bland having 2 big interception seasons. He plays with great timing. Al Harris will be a great coach, like I said, and Jalen Johnson will be a great mentor for him, so I'm expecting big things out of him. His full 2024 season stats were 6 interceptions, 24 tackles, and 15 pass breakups, so this guy could be a lockdown corner, could be the outside corner to Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith. Those guys fit in and rotate in, and Kyler Gordon is that nickel star kind of corner, so that could be the route. I really like this pick. Really like taking a chance on a player like this. Now for the other later rounds, guard Luke Newman from Michigan State. I really like this pickup. This is a guy that has positional flexibility. He can play center, he can play tackle, he can play guard. Started 30 games at Holy Cross as a left tackle. Played guard and center at Michigan. Played center at the Senior Shrine Bowl too as well. In 2024, 417 pass block snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 9.69 RAS score. He can move. He has the athletic traits. He's experienced. He's versatile, powerful, packs a punch. Will learn behind Dahlman and Joe Tooney. Excited about that. That should be great for him. He could get to the second level with ease. Really good with the duo and climb blocks. He had 4th or 5th round grades, and we got him, in the 6th round. So I like that. In 2023, he had an 87.9 PFF grade. This guy could be one of those underrated sleepers. Bears in round 7 got Kyle Monangai. This is a running back from Rutgers, all Big Ten this season. And he's kind of like an Ashton Genty variant. He's 5'8", 200 pounds, has that, athletic build to him, strong, good base, great contact balance. Not the home run hitter Genty was at Boise State. Doesn't have as much home run ability. Can't really run away from defenders like Genty can, but he's somebody that's going to make defenders pay for trying to tackle him. Trucking defenders, force missed tackles, all that. Last season in 2024, 256 carries, 1,200, almost 1,300 yards rushing, led the Big Ten in yards rushing, 5 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns, 4.6 40. Identical numbers really to David Montgomery coming out of college, even with the 40-yard dash, all that. So he could be a David Montgomery for the Chicago Bears. And we got him in the 7th round. This is somebody that had 4th or 5th round kind of grades as well. Fantastic in pass protection. He's really good in terms of protecting the passer and, blitzing linebackers coming in or defensive ends coming through free. 670 carries in his career, 0 fumbles. So he takes care of the rock, scores touchdowns, makes defenders pay. 139 forced missed tackles since 2023, first in the NCAA. 5 years at Rutgers, 569 carries, 3,000 yards rushing, 27 touchdowns, and 0 fumbles. Back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons as well. He's kind of like a bowling ball running back. This is the guy that's going to run in between the tackles and he's going to run hard. He's going to pick up first downs, going to get you goal line touchdowns. He's somebody that's going to push Roschon Johnson. That's going to be competition with those 2 guys. So he could potentially be one of the biggest steals in the draft, and I really like adding him to this running back room with Bieniemy. Roschon Johnson, Swift, it seems like the Bears have confidence in those guys. They really didn't, overreach to get a top running back in this class. They let the board play out how it played out. So Brian Poles, Ben Johnson, I commend them for the work they did with this draft class. I think this could be potentially one of Ryan Poles' best draft classes yet since he's been in Chicago. And with Luther Burden, with Colston Loveland, I'm excited about this offense and how dangerous it can be. I think, the Bears got 2 potential Pro Bowl players, and then they got a really good depth, really high value, guys that can, step in and potentially be starters down the road at some point. We'll see how good this draft class is, in a couple of years. But right now, I like it. Didn't get an edge, though. Concerned about that. Maybe as a Darius Smith or Matthew Judon, we pick up one of those guys in free agency. But right now, I give this draft class a B+. Let me know down below in the comments what you give this draft class and what moves you want to see the Bears make after the conclusion of this draft. But I would want him to get an extension done with, Keenan Allen. I would want him to stay with the Chicago Bears for maybe 2 or 3 more years because he's coming off his best season last year with the Chargers.